See who pull up in and put it in park. Blessings up. We lit. We live, man. Let's see who pull up, bro. Man, what's poppin'? Cobb, what they do, man? Mr. Never Sleep. What's good, man? Why this one ain't going live? What? We're having trouble starting your live video. You pull up in here and put it in park, man. Prayers up, blessings up. We lit, we live. So look, man, what I'm about to do on this live, I'm actually gonna make a chopped veggie sandwich. I was gonna do this. So look, cause today, the main thing that I needed to get done today was I had to edit all these videos. So I actually got a kind of early start, and I'm done. So cause I had to edit videos all the way through, cause me and my family, it's like 12 of us that's going on a cruise. So we're doing a Royal Caribbean cruise on Sundays, and we ain't getting back to the following Saturday. So it's like a 6-day situation. So I had to get all my content lined up for all the pages and edit videos and do all that. So that was my main task for today. So I did that, and then I was about to make this veggie sandwich. I was about to make this chopped veggie sandwich because I was just thinking about what we had to work with. And so I was about to start. I was like, hold on, let me just go live and do this, man. So I was like, let me just go live and chop it up, man. So this is kind of like a cooking and thinking Thursdays, but it's Friday and we doing a chopped veggie sandwich, all natural. If you don't know me, my name is Jabez. You know what I mean? I lost 100 pounds. This was me in 2014. I was 260 pounds. Why I can't see myself on here, man? What the heck is going on here? What the heck? What's up with my phone, man? Can you see me on Instagram? Can you see me? The heck? I'm about to just charge this to the game. I don't know what's going on. Let me know in the chat if you can see me or not. Look how it's looking. I'm gonna probably, because I'm actually live on 5 different phones. Look. So this is my Instagram, but it's like, I can't even see myself. You can see me, but I can't. To me, it's just a blurred out screen, man. Wow, man. Well, I don't know what that be about. Huh. Well, I'm just going to run it. I can't see myself on this screen, but I guess they can see me, so it's all good. All right, Smooches, appreciate that. All right, so yeah, so like I say, I got cut off of my thought, but this was me in 2014, and so the thing about it is I lost 100 pounds, but I didn't still eating the food that I like to eat. You know what I mean? I was eating cookies, cakes, pasta, bread, meat, all the things I like. I had to learn how to choose the right version. I lost weight because I became a naturalite, and so a naturalite is someone who focuses on getting off heavily processed foods and chemicals. Because what I realized was I had got to be this size because I was eating too much processed food and too much food with chemical ingredients, and a lot of the side effects of these synthetic chemicals and chemistry chemicals that are flavor enhancers and like artificial flavors, natural flavors, all the different ways you could break sodium down and salt down and put it in food, and it just entices us to want to keep on eating. It leads to weight gain, like processes like enrichment process I talk about all the time. And so all of these processes, I realized as I was going through my journey that really the root of it was I just was eating food that wasn't natural. And so I was like, man, I started realizing I could still eat what I like. I just had to eat the natural version of it. So that's why I'm a natural, So a naturalite avoids the chemicals and the heavily processed ingredients, like how vegans avoid animal products. Some naturalites eat meat, some don't. But we all believe the ingredients matter, and we want to eat the natural versions of the foods that we like. And so that's what it is. So I'm going to get into it on this live. I give out some game or whatever. Like I said, I wasn't even going to go live. I'm just doing this live off the cuff because I'm going to make a veggie sandwich. So why I'm doing this, first of all, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If you like good food and you would like to lose some weight, Drop a 4 in the chat. Let me see who I can help on this live. Let me see who locked in, man. Drop a 4 in the chat if you like good food and you would like to lose some weight. If both things are true to you, drop a 4 in the chat because I can help you if that's the case. Sandy, what's good? T, what they do? Queen, I see you. I made chicken curry. There you go. Monique, what's good? I see you, man. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. I can't see myself, but people can see me, so it's good. Sarah, I can barely see. Like, I can only see one comment at a time at the very bottom. It's weird. Jill, what's popping? Tony, what's good? All right, cool. So, y'all do me a tap the screen. Tap the screen, man, and send this. If you know somebody that want to lose weight, send this video to them. Maybe they could watch this live. Send this live to them because I'm going to be going some weight loss tips. And I'm going to show you, this is actually a veggie sandwich that I'm going to do right here on this live. It's a veggie chop sandwich. Now, this is like, I've done this once before or twice, once or twice. So I actually seen the videos of the chopped deli sandwiches where they was taking the sandwich meat and all of the different veggies and they was chopping it up. I see we got 123 people on the live on YouTube and we got 23 likes. If you could smash that like button, I'd appreciate that, man, because it boosts up the algorithm. But check this out. So I seen that they was chopping up the veggie the sandwich meat with the veggies and they just everything that would go on a sandwich, they just chopped it all up and then they add the mayonnaise to it. It almost kind of looked like a tuna salad, but it's just like everything chopped up together. And I was like, I ain't never had no sandwich like that, but that makes sense. But I kind of stopped eating sandwich meat. I don't really eat it like I used to. But I was like, I bet that'd be fire with just a bunch of veggies chopped up. And I tried it, and it was good. Have you ever seen that? The chopped sandwiches? Have you ever seen a chopped deli sandwich? Drop a yes in the chat if you ever seen one of them, or drop a no if you haven't. Let me see whoever's seen it. Whoever seen one of them. It's like I think it's called a chopped deli sandwich. If you ever had one or if you ever seen it. Okay, I see some yeses. Trina never seen it. Anthony never seen it. What they do, bruh? Okay, I see more yeses than no's. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna do this. So first of all, I was trying to figure out what to eat because I was hungry, and I was looking at what we had because we're about to, like I said, we're about to hit it. So we don't really have that much food because we don't like to. When we're gonna be gone for a minute, we don't shop, so we don't food. So I'm trying to see what I said. Okay, I could make a chopped deli sandwich, veggies. My wife made this bread. This is sourdough bread. And this is homemade. Look, and she because we went to Tennessee. We went on a summer road trip, right? And we got our business partners is in Franklin, Tennessee. Our partner Ken, his wife, Exana, she is big into sourdough bread. So she made a couple of loaves of sourdough bread, and it was fantastic. And then her and my wife was chopping it up, whatever. And then my wife started getting curious about how to make sourdough bread. So she gave us some starter. So with sourdough bread, I never knew this. Like with sourdough bread, you got starter, right? And the whole thing with the sourdough bread starter, you got to keep it alive. So you got to keep feeding it flour. And there's a ratio that you got to do with it. And it's like bacteria that grows in there and it's natural yeast. So this is the way sourdough goes. And so like, it's a funny history. Like it's an interesting history. There's places in the world that have starter that's like 1,000 years old. Like they never let it die. They just kept passing it from generation to generation to generation. So every time you use the starter, you use some of it and you just keep adding on to it. You make a batch of bread, you add it to the starter. And so it's like you keep it alive. Did you know that? That's how, look, let me show you. Drop a yes in the chat if you knew that. Drop a no if you didn't know that. So this is a batch of the starter right here for the sourdough that my wife makes. Have you ever seen that? Did you know that that's how did you know that all this is water and flour? Sourdough, like when you eat sourdough bread, how it got that flavor to it, it's because you put it through this process with the starter. And it's just flour and water and it makes natural yeast. That's how it goes. So, but it's a process to it, man. It's the whole process to it, man. And my wife, she getting good. But she made this sourdough bread is the point what I'm trying to make. And, but is bread fattening? That's a great question. And I lost 100 pounds still eating bread. I eat bread to this day. So the bread that I was eating bread with the wrong type of flour. And so I was eating bread made with enriched flour because grew up with the Pillsbury flour and I never really thought about flour and whatever. I would eat bread. I like the way bread tastes. So let me give you an example because that's a great question. So this is as an example, this is the flour that I grew up on. And most of the bread that I ate was made with this same type of flour. But this bread, this flour right here, that makes the bread that grew up on, from the store, buying it from the store, whatever. Like most of the bread that I was eating was made with enriched flour. So, and I talk about enriched food all the time. This bread was made with natural flour. And let me just explain this right now now that we're here. Let me find out first who doesn't know about this. So if you're unfamiliar with the relationship between enriched grains and weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. If you're unfamiliar with the relationship between enriched grains and weight gain, drop a 4 in the chat. What's a good for brand to use? I don't recommend brands. I recommend ingredients. And I'll get more into that in a second. Okay, Miss B, what they do? Okay, Mr. What's good? Okay. Javier, Craig, what's popping? Enriched flour make you feel fat, and it kind of does. Gabby, what's good? What's up, Gabby? So look, enriched flour is, when you look on the pack, and I don't want to come too close because I get flagged on TikTok, but you'll see enriched on the pack. So that's letting you know that it was put through the enrichment process. So I didn't know that this is actually an ultra processed food. When I would get flour or rice, like grains, and you can enrich wheat, rice, and corn. When I would get like cornmeal or rice or wheat flour from the store and I would make a meal with it, I thought I was making a homemade meal. I didn't think I was making an ultra processed food, but I was, because this was put through the ultra chemical enrichment process. And so it's a process where they remove the life germ from the wheat plant. So they're showing you right here on the Pillsbury sign, this is wheat. And so there's the life germ inside of each one of them wheat grains. And so the life germ is actually where the natural nutrients are. It's the softest part of the grain. And that's actually the part of the grain that will grow another plant, because the wheat grain is actually a seed for more plants. Just like rice. It tripped me out. I never thought about this until recently in life, that a rice is actually a seed for another plant. That tripped me out when I don't know why. I'm like, how I live my whole life and never think about like rice is the actual seed for another plant. Did you ever think about that? Drop a yes if you thought about that. Drop a no and keep it real. I want to know, because it's called the life germ, because it's the germ that's inside the grain that'll make more life. There's B vitamins, nutrients, and all of that inside the life germ. But I never thought about that until I was like, man, I've been eating all this rice. I never realized I was eating seeds. But so the enrichment process is a process where they remove that life germ, because the problem is that life germ will spoil and go bad, which ain't really a problem. But if you're trying to make a lot of money selling grain, it is a problem, because if you don't sell it fast enough, it'll spoil on you. And so there's that. And also, bugs love the life germ that's in the grain. So there's those two problems. So what they did in the 1940s, it was a scientist that discovered how to do this, where they used chemicals that they use for the wheat to remove the life germ. And so what's left is an empty grain. And so they add synthetic nutrients to replace the natural nutrients that was in that life germ. Because there's B vitamins and things like this, that natural nutrients that was in that life germ. They removed it. So they add synthetic nutrients to replace them. And so this is the enrichment process. So now it'll never spoil. So this right here could sit on the shelf probably till 2097. And you'd be able to bake a loaf of bread like it was today, right? So that's the enrichment process. The problem is our bodies don't break it down the same. There's no energy in it, and it leads to weight gain. And so when I learned that, the good news is, just like they sell the enriched grains, enriched flour, they also sell flour that wasn't put through that enrichment process. So let me show you an example of that. Here go a flour right here, right? So before I do that though, how you know it's enriched, or if, let's say you're buying bread or pasta, how you know if it used enriched flour? They have to add the synthetic ingredients that they added in the ingredients of the product. That's how you know if it's enriched, because you'll see this right here. Right here it says bleached wheat flour. Then it says, here goes the synthetic, niacin, iron, mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, enzymes. So it's enriched. Good news, when I stopped eating this type of flour and products made with this type of flour and switched to this type of flour, which is natural. How you know it's natural, because all that's going to be in the ingredients is the type of wheat that's used. And so right here, you see right here, it says organic unbleached wheat flour. That's all that's in this flour right here. That's what was used to make this bread. Organic unbleached wheat flour compared to bleached wheat flour, and then the synthetic niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid. So when I switch from this type of flour right here, and products made with this type of flour, to this type of flour right here, and products made with this type of flour, because remember, flour makes a lot of things, man. This is stuff that I didn't think about coming up. I didn't really think about this till I was in my 30s, to be real with you. Like, I knew that flour made bread, but I didn't think about it like that. So like, flour makes pasta, bread, cookies, cakes, tostones, burritos, shells. You get what I'm saying? Flour make a lot of different things, man. Hot Pockets, pizza, you know? So when it comes to bread, when I switched out bread made with enriched flour and I switched it to bread made with natural flour, and you could find bread made with natural flour in the store. I went to losing weight, still eating bread. You know what I mean? Let's see. I'm making a grocery list right now. There you go. What about diabetics? So that's a great question. And so the thing about it is, health isn't my lane. I recommend Yaki or Yakai, my brother Yakai. If you spell his name Y-A-A-I, he's helped a lot of people beat diabetes, herpes, cancer, AIDS, all that naturally. He got clinics in St. Louis. He's big on social media. Y-A-H-K-I. If you look up Yaki, Y-A-H-K, Awakened is his page. That's his lane. He understands health advice. I lost 100 pounds. You feel me? When this was me, we was living in the Pine Island projects. You get what I'm saying? I was at a very dark period of my life when that picture was took, and like I'm not like I wasn't helping people get healthy. I didn't have health that because I lost service on my phone's just glitching out, man. I enjoy watching and learning. Renee, that's love. Let me know if you're on if you're on YouTube, if you could see me, drop a 4 in the chat, because it came back. If you could see me on YouTube, drop a 4 in the chat, please, because I'm about to start making a sandwich and I want to see am I still locked in on YouTube. Okay, so let me just go on, and I'll be giving out, weight loss tips throughout this live, but I want to show how I make this veggie chopped sandwich. Okay, good, Greg, I appreciate that. Check this, right? This is what I'm gonna do. But now, when it comes to the enriched grains, if it made sense what I just said about the enriched grains and the relationship to weight gain, and if it makes sense how you can identify the enriched grains compared to the natural grains, and if it makes logical sense that you would lose weight if you make that switch, drop a yes in the chat. If it didn't make sense, drop a no. I want to see, because I'm gonna be rich, man. That just learning about enriched grains and making the switch from the enriched grains to the natural grains, I lost 15 to 20 pounds from making that switch. If you gotta go, but I was still eating pasta, bread, rice, cookies, cakes, all that. But I stopped eating the enriched grains and I went to the natural grains. So if you gotta go to lose weight, user, what's good? If you gotta go to lose weight, I encourage you to make that switch and start weighing yourself every day to know if it's working or not. You know what I mean? Because if it's not true and you make the switch and you're being real with yourself and you're staying consistent with it, if it's not true, then your weight won't go down. But if your weight start going down and you don't switch nothing else, you know you're losing weight because you'll know that them enriched grains had the weight on you and you're losing weight because you went to the natural grains. So I encourage you to do that to see if it's true for you. You feel me? All right. I'm going to cut a piece of this bread. There's only a little bit of this bread left. So I'm cutting this bread. And I want to make sure I get it right. Because I'm going to use this for the chopped veggie sandwich. Like I said, but I don't like when the bread get to the bottom part like this because, but this little bit that we got right now, because sometimes if you don't cut it right, it's up the sandwich. But I'm taking my time so I do it right. I'm gonna cut this bread down. Wham. See, like right there, see how it's thin? Messed up the way I cut it. But it'll still work. It'll still work. All right, so now, so this is what I'm gonna use this bread right here for the sandwich. And for the day. And I'll probably use this little piece too. I might just put some on the top of this. And we'll do it like that. So now check this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna use this in a second. And I'll chop up the inside part, the veggie part of the sandwich. So this is a chopped veggie sandwich. I'm just working with the ingredients that we got left in the house. You could use any type of ingredients for this. You know, I'm gonna use some mixed greens that we got right here. Now this is a trick too that I really like with these mixed greens. What I'll do is when I buy it, you see how it'll be like condensation that build up. Buy it, I'll put a paper towel on the top of mixed greens and wipe that condensation, and then I set it like this in the fridge. Because you know how like these mixed greens, they'll start to bad and turn slimy. You ever notice that? And it might happen like within a week. If you put the towel in there like this and turn it upside down, wipe around the edges and put the paper towel on the top and turn it upside in the fridge, it lasts like 3 times as long. Trust me on this one. Trust me. So now I'm gonna use some of this, some of these mixed greens in this veggie chop sandwich. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna cut up is these greens. So I'm just kind of balling them up like this. And I'm gonna chop these things down because with the chopped sandwich, that's the thing. It's like everything is chopped up. They be doing it right on the cutting board, but I don't feel like doing that. So now I'm taking some of these grape tomatoes and I'm gonna chop these things in half. And now this is important. You know how the inside part, it got that wet stuff in it? That's crazy. It just busts when I squeeze it. I squeeze all that wet stuff out. Cause when I make a sandwich with tomatoes, with all of that wet stuff from the inside of the tomatoes where it's at, it make the bread soggy, and I don't like that. So when I use tomatoes on sandwich, I always take that wet part out. So I'm doing that right now. So I'm just making a veggie chop sandwich real quick, man. Then we're gonna chop it up about weight loss. But I want to get the sandwich together. Because like I said, when I cook, usually every time I cook, it'd be different. I don't measure food out. I don't measure seasons or none of that. Like every time I just get ideas and I do it for the most part. I got my go-to meals that I like. But even them, like when I cook them, it's usually a little bit different every time. Let me know if you like that when you cook or if you measure everything out. If you like every time you cook it come out a little bit different, drop a 4 in the chat. Cause I'm not like a measurer. Like I just put some, like I cook, taste it, add a little bit of flavor to it. Like every time I cook, it'd be a little bit different. Makai!
Yep.
Oh. I thought y'all see when you walk back out the kitchen. Shout out Makai, our youngest son. Say what's up to the live, man.
What's up?
So he actually wrote his first book. What's the book up there?
It's called The World Changing Farm. We might change the name soon, but so far that's it.
Yep. So far it's The World Changing Farm. And it's a children's book. And that's gonna be coming soon. So we actually homeschooling Makai, so that's part of what we're doing. Like my wife is like me and my wife are homeschooling our two youngest. Everybody else pretty much out of school. Our oldest son, he's a senior this year. And so we felt like we should just teach our kids, because I feel like we could do a good job teaching them in the school system, and to be real. And so I'm teaching like hands-on life experience, you know what I mean? That's like he's writing a book. So we're gonna be doing projects together in real life, and as money start coming in, an agreement with the money. So he'll have, you know, with sub accounts lined up so he can learn how to start managing his money, and learn about taxes in real time, and you know what I mean. Go through the process, like when we lease a car, like he there watching how the process go. If we buy a car, he can see the way the process go. When we shopping around for homes and real estate, like they'll be right here and in real time. So that's the plan. And so we learning as we grow with it, you know. My wife, she like go like the math and like the arithmetics and like reading and writing. She got him learning cursive. Like they don't even teach kids how to write in cursive, but he learned in cursive or whatever. So that's going on. Let's see. Love from Greece. Shout out Greece, man. I definitely want to go out there and see, but Greece look beautiful every time I see it on like social media. Greece. Another place that I want to go is Switzerland. Definitely want to go to Africa. That's really like my whole motivation. My favorite thing to do with money is travel, by far. Vacations and travel is by far my favorite thing to do with money. I feel most alive when I'm traveling, you know. So I'm chopping bell peppers. I chopped up some, I'm doing a chopped veggie sandwich. Why didn't it come together? My name is Jabez, man. I lost 100 pounds, and I'm still eating the food that I like to eat. One thing I used to believe was healthy don't taste good, and I didn't really want to eat healthy, but I felt like I should. I didn't want to, but that was a false belief that was in my mind, man. If we can make processed, unnatural food taste good, we can make natural food taste good. So it was a mindset problem that I had of food. So I'm just putting everything in a bowl right here that's gonna go in this chopped veggie sandwich. Now I got a white onion. I'm gonna chop a little bit of this thin, and this gonna go in here. Basically, I'm just chopping up veggies. But you're gonna see how I put the flavor inside this chop. So, chop up some of these onions, drop them. Those are sweet onions, by the way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna chop up a little bit of this green bell pepper, because I said I was to myself, so let me put it in there. And chop this in. So with a chopped sandwich, I could have put all this together, like all of these in like pieces of the ingredients. I put them together, just start chopping them. But like I said, I didn't want to, because I didn't want to make a mess all on this while I was on the live, and it just felt like it would have been too much. So I'm doing it like this. So I got everything. And like I said, I was gonna cook this anyway. I must have threw it away. I was gonna prepare this anyway. So I was like, let me just go live and do it. So I'm just chopping it up. We're actually doing this too. Like I say, dang, that's crazy. When I was squeezing it, was like a bunch of it squirted out. It got on me. It went all the way over to the book. It got on my book too. Dang, I heard, like I knew it bust over, but I didn't know it squirted. But anyways, like I said, I wrote Life Matters, so Let's Eat Like It to explain how I lost 100 pounds still eating the food that I like to eat. So if anybody want to grab a copy, feel free. I make it simple to understand with the book. How to choose the right versions of the food that you like. We're actually doing a amazing deal day sale right now. If you want to grab a copy, feel free. I got our website linked underneath my profile picture on all my home pages. So I'm going to take a couple of these, actually pickled jalapenos that from out of our garden. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's growing their own food. or growing anything for that matter, I think it's real important that we that more of us start growing food and getting into agriculture, man. Because at the end of the day, the core issue, I believe the core issue as far as why we have such a weight problem in America, why some of us, find ourselves overweight, is because we don't understand how to produce our own food. So we're depending on other people. We depend on the grocery stores and restaurants for our food more and more every year. And less people really understand how to produce food. Everybody's caught up in the day-to-day just getting by, and I get it. But that's the problem. So good news, if you got a little bit of space in the backyard, or even if you're in an apartment, you could grow with some pots and have them in the window or by the window where sunlight's coming through the window. You can have some herbs, something growing, so you can start learn how to work with the plants. And as your life evolve and blessings start happening for you and you start getting some more space and more land, you can start putting some food in the ground. I feel like everybody got grass. Everybody got a lawn with grass and it grows. But it could be other things. There's so many plants that are super low maintenance that we can eat too. That's another thing I'm starting to get more and more into. A little more high maintenance. Some are super low maintenance. You can set them and forget them. If it's grow real good in certain climates, set them and forget them, and you'll have official plants growing on your property. I feel like neighborhoods should be full of houses that's doing it, because when that's the case, all of us will be able to trade with each other, and so we'll be less and less dependent on getting everything from the grocery store, and restaurants will be able to get more and more of their ingredients from around the area locally, because so many people will be growing food. So that's why I got to go to inspire over 1 million people to start growing food and to help, to give a foundation of knowledge, because it's not true. I used to think we needed a green thumb to grow food, but it's not true, man. We just need to understand the 4 basic things that plants have a relationship with. All plants have a relationship with sunlight, water, soil, and climate. And it's different. Like every plant don't have the same relationship with the sun. Some need more sunlight, some need less. And then when it comes to the soil, some need drier soil, some need more moist soil. Some need a certain type of amount of nutrients in the soil, some less. Every plant got a different relationship with the soil, and then every plant has a different relationship with water. But there's similarities especially when it comes to water, like tap water. I don't use on none of my plants. I use rainwater or lake water or spring water. I'll use in a pinch. I actually talk about this in my book. The more we grow, the more we'll see everything we need is free. But every plant, some plants need less or some need more. But every plant has a relationship with water, and every plant has a relationship with the climate. Like a mango tree grows real good in Miami, but it's not going to grow in Georgia. It's going to grow in Virginia. It's not going to grow in Wisconsin. Apple trees grow good in Wisconsin. It's not going to grow good down here, though, in Miami. And so, and it's the same with all. So once you understand that, then you could just find out what each plant like and give it that. And it'll be growing. That's how that goes. Dang, that got me in this what's the name? I'm trying to. There we go. Anyways, so that's that. Now I made these pickled jalapenos, and I'm glad I just tasted a little bit of it, because these things are spicy. I forgot how this batch was. I'm not gonna use all of them. I'm gonna use some of them. And now I'm gonna chop up this avocado. Please show the cover of your book again. Appreciate that question. This is right here. Life matters, so let's eat like it. All right, KB. All right. Can you open the door so they stop barking, please? What is your thought on fish, seafood, as of losing belly fat? So, I actually talk about that in my book. When it comes to animals, right? I lost 80 pounds. Other pounds that I eventually lost. I lost 80 pounds still eating meat and fish, And then it wasn't until 2020 that I started cutting back more, especially on chicken and steak. I cut pork out of my diet more so for spiritual reasons. But so when it comes to weight loss, I feel like it's more valuable to focus on ingredients and what processes food is put through and the ingredients of the food, and to be aware of that and make natural, choose natural versions. You know, more so the grains, the salts, the oils, and the additives that's in a lot of food, cutting that out and just eating food that doesn't have these like natural flavors and artificial flavors and food dyes and flavor enhancers and stuff that make us want to keep on eating. That is how, to sum it up, that's how I was able to lose 8 pounds. So when it comes to fish, now where I'm at, it's not as much about, one thing that I did notice, when my weight went down more when I cut out the chicken and the steak and like the red meat, the chicken and the red meat, because, and what I believe is just because it's more dense. Like beef is more dense. It's just denser than fish. Fish is more light, like when you chew it up, it break down easier. You know what I mean? It don't sit so heavy on my stomach, and it go in and come out easier. So I noticed when I cut back on the beef and I actually cut chicken out of my diet, I lost more weight. So for what it's worth. Now, and with the fish, what I decided to do was I stopped eating, for any animal, because I learned this in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, any animal that doesn't have scales and fins, according to the Old Testament Bible, it goes dietary laws in the book of Leviticus. There's actually hygiene and dietary laws in the Bible. I never knew that. It tripped me out when I learned it. So I was like, dang, if the Bible is real and it is true that I was in violation, I wonder what would happen if I get in an alignment with the laws of the Bible. So I decided to cut out if it come out of the water, say it needs to have scales and fins. So I thought about catfish. I used to eat a lot of fish. That don't got no scales. I thought about shrimp, lobster, crabs, all of them things. So I was like, man, it's like there's a lot of fish that got scales and fins that I like. I don't need to eat these things. So I was like, let me just see what happened. And what's crazy, when I started keeping the dietary laws, because there's more laws than just that. When I started keeping those laws and the hygiene laws, it wasn't no more than, and I started doing other things according to the Bible too. And I took it into my character and I started practicing it and being intentional. My blessings multiplied crazy. I went viral on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, then I started on all the platforms and became a best-selling author multiple times. And it's a trip. I'm in a whole different life. I'm a different person now. And a lot of it is because I became aware of the laws in the Bible and I decided to keep them, you know? For real. So now look, I'm making the chopped veggie sandwich. So I got sweet peppers in there. I just cut up a half avocado. I put that in there. I got sprigs of lettuce in there. I got some onions in there. I'm just chopping up vegetables. But watch how this come together. So now I'm chopping up a little cabbage to give it a little crunch. Chopping up some cabbage that we had left because I made some cabbage soup the other night in our weight loss community. We actually got a weight loss community too. And we all cooked some cabbage soup that my wife made that's so good. So it's a little bit of cabbage that I didn't use and I'm gonna use. And that's pretty much it. So this is the base of the sandwich. Now, watch it come together. Now the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this bread my wife made. Hold on. I'm gonna take this bread that my wife made, and I'm gonna like give it a saute. I'm gonna saute it and kind of like fry it give it like a saute on top of the stove, and that's gonna be bread for the sandwich. So it's gonna kind of be like a grilled cheese. Like if you do a grilled cheese sandwich, it's gonna kind of be like that. That's what I'm shooting for. But the old me would have used margarine. I'd have put margarine on the bread, whipped up the sandwich, just like this, but you know, along the way I stopped using margarine, and that helped me lose weight when I made that switch. The first thing I switched to was just real butter. I made the switch from the margarine to butter and lost weight. And then I made the switch from the butter to the coconut oil. Started using coconut oil. And then I even got, sometimes I'll mix the coconut oil. I just did a video about this where I mix the coconut oil